Hello students, welcome to your channel Zebish English Classes. I hope you are keeping well. And what I have picked up today is this book Reverie, which is from ISC board for the students of 11th as well as 12th standard. And the poem that I'm going to take up today is the last poem from this book, that is We Are the Music Makers, and that has been written by Arthur William Edgar. So let us see this poem. It is a very beautiful poem and it is an ode. Now, what is an ode? An ode is actually that poem which especially appreciates a particular person or a particular thing. And here in this particular poem, we will see that this is an ode just because it is going to talk about the artists, it is going to appreciate the role of the artists in the world. So we see that this title of the poem, We Are the Music Makers, is nothing but the first line from the poem itself, We Are the Music Makers. And here this word we is actually standing for all the artists in the world. That is, it can be a dancer, a singer, a writer, a poet, all sorts of artists. And how they are the music makers. Now, what do we understand by music makers? Music makers means the ones that can bring happiness in the society, that can bring positive changes in the society, that can bring hope and creativity and love in the world. So now we need to understand that this word has got the two aspects. One aspect is surely aesthetic and very beautiful, but another aspect of this word is monotonous, ugly, dull, dreary, and boring. As we can see these days, due to this pandemic of corona and the lockdown problems and all, we are witnessing that boring, monotonous, and exasperating or irritating aspect of this word these days. So we need to understand that during such a period of time, or when we witness such an aspect of the world, then it is only the artists that serve as the music makers for us, or that bring a positive change in the society, that bring happiness in the society, that bring hope in the society. And this is what the poet has tried to convey through this poem by showing the importance or the significance of the writers, the poets, and all the artists in the world. What is their role and how they impact the world. So this is what we are going to see in this poem. So the very first line of the poem is the title of the poem itself, that is We Are the Music Makers, and we know we is referring to all the artists in the world. And who are the music makers? They are the music makers just because they are the ones that bring change, happiness, positivity, love, and hope in the society, as I just told you. So the poet here is actually saying all this on behalf of all the artists, and for that reason he has used this term we, and he's saying that all the artists are the music makers. They are the ones that bring happiness in the society, and we are the dreamers of dreams. That means we are the ones who can dream even such things that are sort of regarded as impossible by the world. That means the artists are the ones that can even find possibility in the impossible things in the world. So whatever is considered as impossible by the world, even that is regarded as or seen as possible by the artists. And that is why this is how it is being said by the poet that they are, the poet is saying we are. That means the poet is including himself as well, just because he is a poet too, and being a poet he is an artist. So the poet is saying that we are the dreamers of dreams. That means we are the ones that can dream even such things which are beyond the dreams of ordinary human beings. राइट सो जो ऑर्डिनरी ह्यूमन बींग्स के लिए एक ख्वाब नहीं हो सकता या सिर्फ ख्वाब हो सकता है, हम उसके भी ख्वाब देखते हैं. सो वी आर द ड्रीमर्स ऑफ ड्रीम्स एज वेल. Right. So I think in one way more I would like to explain this line. Like there is something which you think is impossible for you to get in your life, but you keep on dreaming that, and you only consider it as a dream of yours which will never come true. But then an artist will also dream that dream of yours as a possible happening in the world. So this is the quality or the trait which is unique in the artists, that they can find possibility in any impossible beliefs or convictions of people. So wandering by lone sea breakers, lone is lonely, and as we know that this is the one of the traits, again one of the features, one of the characteristics of the artists, that they love to stay in isolation, and wandering is like roaming about and choosing to sit down where, at such a place which is lonely, which is uh, all alone and there's nobody, a deserted place, they seek to sit, like they seek the place such as sea breakers or the sea beaches. So such places are sought by the writers, the poets, so that they can sit there and frame beautiful thoughts out of their imagination. Right. So, and sitting by desolate streams, so also you will find these people, these artists, sitting by desolate streams. Desolate streams means the streams which are all alone, which are deserted, where nobody goes. Word losers and word forsakers, and this is an important line for us to understand, because despite this, despite all their efforts or endeavors, it happens that they are rejected by the world. They are not accepted by the world. They are the word forsakers. That means the word simply rejects them or uh, repudiates them, and the word doesn't accept them, or the word doesn't appreciate their ability, their capability, their talent, their art, and as a result of which they have to suffer all their life and simply, you know die starving, just because they're not able to even make money out of their skill, out of their talent, out of their art. So this is their situation in the world, that they do everything, they bring a great change in the world, they try their best to bring positivity, hope, creativity in the world, but despite all their efforts, despite all such measures that they take, they are not accepted by the world or appreciated by the world. This is something very pathetic about the condition of the artists in the world. So, I would like to give you an example so that you understand it even better. Like there is a poet uh, who is a feminist, and she is very well known around the world for her fighting against racism, and how she had also changed the definition of beauty that was prevalent in America at that point of time when racism was at its peak. And this poetess changed the definition of beauty in America. She was able to fight through the racism, that was the different differentiation between the black and the white and all. She was able to fight very well, and only with the help of her pen, that is, with the help of her poems. As it is said that pen is mightier than the sword. And that poetess is none other than Maya Angelou, who had written this poem, Phenomenal Woman, and who had also written the poem, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, which is there in ICSE syllabus at present. So we get to see this is how that these poets, these writers can bring about a great change in the world. And despite their such appreciable efforts, they fail to get recognition and identification many a times, and as a result of which they are not able to even make good money. So upon whom the pale moon gleams. Now, this line means the same, that upon those artists or upon those writers or upon those poets, the pale moon gleams. That means they are not able to make good amount of money. In their entire life, they are only able to make very small amount of money, and due to which many a times it happens that they have to even starve just because they are not able to meet with the basic requirements of life. So they are saying that it's okay, although this is what we face, this is what we experience in this world, yet we are the movers and shakers. That means we are the ones who bring that revolution in the world, as I told you about Maya Angelou. So we are the ones that shake the world, that revolutionize, that bring in such changes in the society which were considered as impossible to be brought by ordinary people. So this is what happens. Of the word, that means in the word it happens that we are the ones who bring change, who move the world, who shake the world. Always, forever means always it happens. It happens by us only. uh, it seems means it appears that we are the ones who are always responsible for such a change, for such a positivity in the world. So this is how this first stanza comes to an end, and now let's move on to the second stanza. So in the second stanza we see, with wonderful deathless ditties, we build up the world's great cities, and out of a fabulous story, we fashion an empire's glory. One man with a dream at pleasure shall go forth and conquer a crown, and three with a new song's measure can trample an empire down. So, here in the second stanza, the poet is saying that this is another ability of the artists, that they can immortalize anything that they want with wonderful deathless ditties. Ditties means the poems or the songs, and deathless means immortal, and wonderful we understand. That means this is the ability of the writers or the poets, that they can immortalize anything with the help of wonderful poems or wonderful stories that they write. We build up the world's great cities. We means again the artists or the writers, the poets we can consider here, that they are the ones who can bring beautiful and great cities of the world with the help of their ability to write and bring about imagination, even in the minds of the readers. So, this is how they can animate their thoughts, bring them to life, and they can show it to the world, and can also cause the same radical thoughts in the minds of the readers. And out of a fabulous story, we fashion an empire's glory. That means with the help of a fabulous story, we can also fashion an empire's glory. That means we can build, we can shape an empire's glory. Glory means success, glory means fame. And it is all possible with the help of our art or our writing, our stories and poems. We fashion an empire's glory. That means if we want to, we can bring about an empire, a glory. And then one man with a dream at pleasure shall go forth and conquer a crown. That means this is the power of a writer or a poet or any artist, that with the help of his imagination or fantasy, he can achieve anything in life. That means his fantasy can give him even the pleasure of feeling like a king. And that's why it is written here that he shall go forth and conquer a crown. That means with the help of his imagination, a poet can also become a king, can even have the feel of being a king. This is possible through that ability to imagine. Imagination is such a great tool. And three, with a new song's measure can trample an empire down. In the same manner, if three poets are writing about another empire that they are trying to trample or crush, they can even crush an empire with the help of their songs. So one song is actually enhancing the glory of an empire, and then the poets start writing about such an empire that they want to crush, and with the help of their words and the way they write, they can easily crush an empire as well. So they are both the creators as well as the destroyers. And this is how the second stanza comes to an end as well. And now let's move on to the third stanza. We in the ages lying in the buried past of the earth built Nineveh with our sighing and Babel itself with our mirth, and overthrew them with prophesying to the old of the new world's worth. For each age is a dream that is dying or one that is coming to birth. So this is how we need to understand this third stanza, which has been written so beautifully to again portray the power, the potential, the strengths of a writer, a poet, or any artist. So we in the ages lying, we again is referring to the artists or the writers or the poets. Let's consider here in this case that the poets, the writers, they have witnessed all sorts of ages. We in the ages lying, that means the ages that have already passed, the ages that have already gone. We in the ages lying in the buried past of the earth, that means we have witnessed that as well. Such ages, such era that have passed, built Nineveh with our sign. That means, here we need to understand even the biblical references that these two cities have got, Nineveh and Babel. Actually, Nineveh and Babel are the cities that have got some biblical reference, and Nineveh is that particular city which is mentioned in Bible as a city of sin, where there was a lot of sin which had been continuously increasing, and due to which it happened that in 612 before Christ, it happened that the city came to an end. It was destroyed and then it was replaced by another city, that is Babel. So Babel came into existence, replacing this city of Nineveh. So the poets or the writers or all the artists, so they are saying that they are the ones who had built Nineveh with our sighing. Sighing is like taking deep breath, and it generally happens, or this gesture rather shows pain. This gesture shows sorrow, grief. That means the poets or the writers must be very, very sad at that point of time when they had to write about this place of Nineveh, which was full of sin and all sorts of evils, and which was eventually destroyed. So they are saying that they are the ones who had built such a city with the help of our imagination as well. एक ऐसी सिटी जहाँ पर हर तरह का ईवल हो रहा है, तो उन्होंने कहा कि हम ही हैं जो ग्रीफ के साथ, दुख के साथ, सौरों के साथ निनिवे जैसी सिटी को भी बिल्ड कर सकते हैं और फिर उसको रिप्लेस कर सकते हैं बेबल जैसी सिटी के साथ with our mirth is happiness. तो here we need to understand कि निनेवा क्योंकि एक ऐसा शहर है हिस्ट्री में जहाँ पर बहुत गुनाह और ईवल और सिन बढ़ चुका था, ड्यू टू विच इट वाज डिस्ट्रॉयड, और इसका रिप्लेसमेंट बेबल शहर से हुआ था. और क्योंकि बेबल वाज अ प्लेस विच हैड started with a lot of happiness and positivity and hope, and that's why यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है कि बेबल जब एग्जिस्टेंस में आया तो इट केम विद द mirth is happiness. तो इसीलिए ये साइंग और mirth वर्ड्स की इम्पोर्टेंस है. साइंग इज इंडिकेटिंग ग्रीफ और mirth हैप्पीनेस, और साइंग ग्रीफ इसलिए क्योंकि निनेवा जो था वो एक ऐसी जगह थी जहाँ पर सिन था, और बेबल हैप्पीनेस के साथ इसलिए एग्जिस्टेंस में आया क्योंकि बेबल ने निनेवा जैसे शहर को रिप्लेस किया था. तो हियर द पोएट इज सेइंग दैट वी आर द वंस. हम निनेवा जैसे शहर को भी इमेजिन कर सकते हैं और उसको एग्जिस्टेंस में ला सकते हैं ग्रीफ के साथ, सोरो के साथ, और फिर उसको रिप्लेस कर सकते हैं बेबल जैसे शहर से हैप्पीनेस के साथ. And overthrew them with prophesying. That means we are the ones who can prophesy as well. So prophecy is like predict. We can predict as well. Predict the future, foretell what will happen next. So with the help of our prophesying that this Nineveh will get replaced by another city, that is Babel. So we can do that as well. We can overthrow, that means we can replace, we can just beat, with the help of our predictions. Predictions is like what? Predictions on the basis of imagination or fantasy of the writers and the poets to the old of the new Wordsworth. That means we can prophesy, we can predict that this old word will come to an end with this new one. For each age is a dream that is dying. Every age, like this modern age as well, was dying, and then it was replaced by this postmodern age. So this is how every age, whether it be in English literature, we have got so many ages, and as we know that they all have even gone now, like Victorian age was there, romantic age was there, then modern, now postmodern is going on. So this is how for means because each age is a dream. Every age is like a dream. It is dying. It comes and then it dies. It goes away, or one that is coming to birth. So they are saying, these writers and the poets, they are saying that we are the ones who have immortalized. Else it happens with the eras or with the ages that they come and go away as well. They are dying every moment. They are approaching their death. It happens that they come and then they go away. And while going away, they give birth to another one, or they get replaced by a new era. Like it happens that modern age was replaced by postmodern age. So this is how one age comes to an end and another age comes into existence. And this is what we can already imagine. We can foretell, we can predict. These are the words of the writers and the poets. They are saying that we can tell, that we can predict, that we can immortalize even such ages that have already died. And we can foretell that this age will get replaced by this particular age, just because we have got the ability, that strength. We are extraordinary people. We can bring in change in the society. We can shake the world. We can move the world. We can bring happiness in the world. And despite all that, we do not get the deserving or the worthy, appreciation, recognition, identification, and money in the society. And this is how we just keep on wandering. So this poem comes to an end now, and I hope you understood the poem. Now I will just do the quick revision of all the stanzas. Like the first stanza is saying that we are the music makers. That means we are the ones who bring happiness in the society. We can dream even such things that are only, that means we can dream and change them into reality with the help of our writing, with the help of our creativity. So the things that remain only in the dreams of ordinary people, that can uh, be changed into reality by us with the help of our creativity. This is the claim of the writers in this line, or the poets or the artists in this line. Wandering by lone sea breakers, that means they keep on wandering from one place to another, and they always choose to sit at a place which is deserted, where nobody is there or around, so that they can have that isolation. And isolation helps them, or isolation is kind of, you can say, harmonious with the power of imagination. Like we tend to imagine better, think better when we are alone, when we are deserted. So these writers and the poets are saying that despite their endeavors and efforts, it happens. This is the most important line in the first stanza: word losers and word forsakers. And another important line in this stanza is movers and shakers. Yet we are the movers and shakers. That see, upon us the pale moon gleams. That means we get very little amount of money as our income. And still we keep on working hard for our creativity, talent, skill, and we keep on writing. We keep on trying to give something good to the world. But you know what happens? The world leaves us, forsakes us, rejects us. And despite that, we keep on trying to change the world. We keep on trying to bring the positivity. and move the word in the right direction. We keep on trying all of that. And it appears as if we are the only ones who are doing it always, and nobody else is doing that. In the second stanza, the poet is saying that another power, another strength of ours is uh, that we can immortalize any empire, any place, any city, anything with the help of our ditties or songs or poems, and we can do that. We can write a fabulous story, and then with the help of that, we can bring a lot of glory to an empire. And at the same time, if we want to crush an empire, we can do that as well with the help of a new song. And that new song can be written by some writers, some poets, and with the help of that new song, they can easily crush a great empire as well. So they are both the destroyers as well as the creators. They can create as well as destroy. Then in the last stanza, they have talked about the ages that are lying, buried in the past. There are so many ages that have already gone away, and even the present age will go away one day, and it will get replaced by a new age. And this is something which the writers or the poets or the artists claim to witness the best, because they have when they witness, they can easily beforehand itself predict about the replacement of that old age with the new one, and they can immortalize such ages that have already passed away, that have already died. So they have only the capability to immortalize the dead ages. So this is what they claim, and this is how this the last stanza also comes to an end. Although it is very important for us to remember the importance of these two cities that have been mentioned in the last stanza, and these two cities have got some reference with the Bible as well, that is Nineveh and Babel, as I told you. And why this Nineveh has got this word sign, just because this place wasn't a good one. It had a lot of sins and evil happenings. That's why it was destroyed in 612 BC by this city Babel, and then Babel came into existence with happiness, with positivity. So this is what the writers are claiming, that they can imagine all of that as well. They can build Nineveh, they can destroy such a city with the help of their imagination. They can build such a city with the help of their imagination, and then they can destroy it as well by replacing it with another city that they would build with a new positive hope, with happiness and with love. So this is what they claim in this poem, and this is how this poem comes to an end, telling us about the significance and the importance of the writers, the poets, the artists in the world, how they make so much of efforts, how they are creative, and their creativity can give so much to the world, but then in return at times it happens that the world fails to give them the worthy or the deserving remuneration, and this is what they even feel bad about as well. That's what the poet has tried to convey here in this poem, that also the poets and the writers feel bad about that reward, which is so little or at times negligible, that they get from the world in return for their efforts that they make for the world with the help of their creativity and talent and skill. So I hope you understood this poem, and thank you so much for watching.